Hello, everyone. Jason home here, and I am joined by top Canadian heavyweight prospect Dustin Joynson, who will be heading out to Philadelphia in a matter of days to fight this Friday for CFFC at CFFC 87 in the co-main event against Carl Seumanatafa. Dustin, how are you doing?
I'm good. I leave tonight at 11:30.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, I wanted to interview before you flew out so you can get all the media done and just totally focus on the fight. Dustin, how are you doing? It's been about a year since I talked to you. Where are the spirits at right now?
I feel good. Just, going through the pre-fight jitters type thing. Conditioning, everything like that feels good. I don't know. Not really much more to say. Just I felt this way before every time. So
Well, as long as you get those nerves still, I mean, you're still feeling something for the fight game. Dustin, the last time I talked to you was before that Contenders Series fight, and obviously things didn't go your way, and that one ended in a no contest as you got poked in the eye. Just take us back. What was that experience like for you? And, this is your first fight since then.
Well, the overall experience of the Contenders is great. Getting poked in the eye obviously was not the outcome I would have liked, but things happen, and it sucks when something like a show like the Contender Series, where everyone's watching and judging you on this one performance as opposed to your career as a whole. I know I'm pretty inexperienced so far, but I mean, it's not easy to find fights at heavyweight to begin with, and getting old. I don't want to fight 1,000 fights just to get in the UFC. I want to get in there, do the best I can, and retire while I still have brain function.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you've barely taken many shots to the head. You've won pretty much all your fights except that last one that didn't go anyone's way, really, as it's a no contest. Yeah. So, I mean, there's still a lot of room to grow. But, how important was it for you to kind of see? It seems like, just reading some other interviews from, how important was it for you to kind of figure out that mental game? Because that's the one aspect that everyone kind of figures out a little later on in their career.
Well, definitely going down to like the UFC, Apex, and all that, and seeing all the top level fighters, it's kind of surreal. And your nerves, you kind of get sick just being in there. Just like, wow, I don't know. It's hard to understand, like, if you belong there or not. So I just kind of keep telling myself I do. Like, I know I'm a good fighter. I know I can do it. It's just got to believe in yourself.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, the results have shown that, and you keep believing in yourself, and you get yourself this big fight here with CFFC. But before you got to CFFC, Dustin, what was with, I mean, you haven't taken a fight, as I said before, since that Contender Series fight. What was with such the long layoff? I mean, obviously the pandemic affected that, yeah. but what else? What were some other reasons?
It wasn't for a lack of trying. Like, I was trying, my managers were trying. Nothing seemed to work out. I almost had something secured last December, but then, kind of fell through. And then, right after the pandemic hit, and I kept asking my manager at the time, I was like, anything going on? And they keep saying, like, there's nothing going on in Canada. Like, we all know that. So the only thing going on is the States and UFC. And I kept telling them, like, hey, I'll take a short notice fight, UFC. Just get me in there. Like, I'll do anything. But, so I'm happy to finally now have an opportunity. And it's nice to, like, go to the States and fight there, like, instead of fighting in my own territory. I kind of like that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, do you have any, preconceived notions or jitters about heading out to the States and traveling during the pandemic?
No. I don't. The whole pandemic thing, I know it should. People don't like it, but it doesn't really bother me. And, like, I know I probably should act like it exists, but half the time I don't.
Fair. I mean, everyone treats it their own way, and I think if you just follow the simple guidelines of keep your distance and wear a mask for the most part.
I try to be respectful, and, like, whatever companies and people are comfortable with, I'll follow your guidelines. But as for me personally, like, I wish it was just back to the way it was.
I think we all do, but I mean, this is a big fight for you here in the co-main event at CFFC. How'd this come about? Because, CFFC is one of the top feeder leagues towards the UFC and other big organizations.
Well, I signed with Dodge Management. So my new manager, Matt Dodge, I was in talks with him, and actually the original contract was supposed to be against Sean Teed for the CFFC title, but then he got called to Bellator, and they relinquished the title. So I thought maybe this would be for the vacant title, but that turned out not to be. So either way, just to be back in action, hopefully with a nice solid win with this one, get invited back to the UFC after my eye poke. And because from what I originally heard, they wanted me to have one more fight anyways before they were talking about signing me. So
were you surprised they didn't give you a quick call back? Because they gave your opponent Ben Sassoli a couple fights in the UFC before releasing him, but you didn't get a single mention or anything like that. And I thought fair's got to be fair there.
I figured that they kind of were hoping he'd win anyways. Like I feel like they were favoring him and kind of wanting him to get in there anyways. He was on the show, right? So
yeah,
I think they already kind of liked him a little, and they didn't know me. So it does suck, and I was kind of open for maybe a rematch or something, just anything to get myself in there. Maybe it would have been a quicker way. Don't even have to, finish the fight on Contenders. Just go right back in. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you did bring it up a little while ago. You signed with a new management team in Dodge Sports. What was the decision to join them? Because they've been just getting all these Canadian fighters some big opportunities.
Well, that's just it. I noticed I have a few Canadian fighting friends, and I noticed they were fighting. So I kept asking, I'm like, who's your management? Like, who's getting you these fights? And then so they told me. And so I contacted him directly, as well as getting some reference from a few friends. And the rest is history right now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're doing great things, and you seem real happy with Dodge Sports, as a lot of people are right now. They're just right now killing it with getting their fighters, their athletes, some big opportunities. Well, yeah, exactly. Well, Dustin, the last time, let's talk about the fight. Actually, you're fighting in the co-main event against Carl Seimonatafu. This is a guy that's had ton of experience. He's been fighting since the days of Elite or M1, what have you. What do you know about Carl, and what are you expecting from him when you get inside the cage on Friday night?
I don't know much. I haven't looked at anything. I know my coaches have studied him a bit, so they kind of make their game plans assessed on that. I don't know. Every fight in heavyweight's always scary for the first 2 minutes anyway, so the plan is try to knock him out, don't get knocked out, and just grind it out and have better cardio, speed, whatever. Wins the ultimate goal.
For sure, and I mean, by any way you can get it done. Dustin, the last time we talked, you were telling me you were a big wrestling fan growing up. How cool is it for you to be fighting in the old ECW arena this Friday?
Yeah, I didn't even know that was it, but that's pretty awesome actually. And I don't know, from what I read before, isn't like CM Punk one of the commentators?
CM Punk is the color guy for CFFC. So, I mean, you got one of the top pro wrestlers of all time calling your fight, and you're in one of the more historic pro wrestling venues of the 90s.
And I got a pretty iconic walkout song, coming out, wrestling song.
I think as they say in the business, that's a bit of a teaser there from you, Dustin. So definitely everyone now has to check in for your fight Friday night on Fight Pass. But yeah, I mean, we're all excited for you, Dustin. This is a big opportunity. Happy to see you out there because, you're one of the top prospects, not only just Canada, but heavyweight as a whole. Heavyweight doesn't have a lot of guys on the upswing like that. And how your last fight ended was so disappointing. So best of luck to you, Dustin, as I know you got to head out there to Philadelphia for this big fight. Before I let you go, want to plug yourself on social media, plug your sponsors, what have you. The floor is yours.
Check me out on Instagram, Facebook, Dustin Joynson MMA. I have lots of sponsors. I'd like to thank my management for getting me the fight, Dodge Sports. Obviously, Universal Supplements has been with me forever. A good friend of mine, pain rehabilitation, Emmanuel. He's been helping me for all my bumps and bruises through this fight camp. Suits U has been there for me. Would like to thank them. Left Coast Woodworks, they're a new sponsor of mine. Appreciate having them on board. Same as JRP Cement Finishing, childhood best friends company. So I appreciate them always being with me.
All right.
That's basically it. There's too many to remember. It's hard to go through them all.
All right.
Of course, the Fitness Academy.
Yeah.
They've been helping me for this fight camp get ready, and my coach right now, Dave Poogie.
All right. Well, Dustin, you got your sponsorships out there. You plugged yourself, and now I guess it's time for you just to get to Philadelphia and get to work against Carl Sayamanatafa in the co-main event at CFFC 87 this Friday on UFC Fight Pass. Dustin, best of luck, and looking forward to talking to you again in the near future after this Friday.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.